All right, Gym Thoughts, episode 3. Control what you can control and leave the rest alone. That's what today's about. Just think about this because so many people are worried about things that are external to their lives, and they spend all this time on things they know they can't fix while completely ignoring the things that they can. And what's ironic about that is you don't really get any better. Your life doesn't change when all you do is focus on the outside world. I have a little theory about this, actually. Well, let's just go right into it. Listen, I believe, I gotta open this door, it's hot. I believe most people, they focus on things they can't control on purpose. I believe most people would rather focus on things they know they can't fix, because then it excuses them from fixing themselves. Now, think about this. How many people that you know are worried about things like war, political strategy, global warming, I don't know, all the different things that are like just very large, things that require a lot of us to work together, right? Yet their lives are piss poor. I'm not saying those things aren't important. They absolutely are. But something we have lost sight of as human beings, in part because of social media, is that the best way you can help the world is to first make sure that you are in order. You might not be able, you probably won't be able, let's just be real, to impact change on a meaningful level on such large topics. But you know what I can guarantee you is in your grasp? If you make yourself a better human being and then go out into the world being a better human being, that is going to have a very profound and measurable impact on the people around you. It might not change the world, but you being a better you could help someone else be a better them. And if we all were just better versions of ourselves, then we could change the world. See, we are so in love with things happening quickly and at very large scales, again, because of social media, that instant gratification, numbers got to be big, views got to be big, eyeballs got to be big. We're so used to that when someone tells you, hey, instead of like worrying about global warming or worrying about like pollution, why don't you just like eat cleaner? If you're so worried about that, why don't you fix that in your own life? Well, that's not going to change anything. Really? It could. So you would rather, let me just make sure I understand this. You would rather worry about what other people are doing than what you're doing. This is why I say it's kind of fake outrage sometimes. People don't want to focus on themselves because that requires accountability. It requires a sense of realness, a sense of honesty with yourself that most people aren't capable of. That's the real truth. That's what is really holding most people back. You don't want to look in that mirror and be honest about the fact that you've been bullshitting. You don't want to do it. And I get it. I get that. Because I have to look in that mirror myself and be like, yeah, you've been fucking this up. It ain't nobody but you that's doing this. And it hurts. It does. Again, I'm not saying that it's not important to be concerned or aware of what's going on around you in the world. You should. But if you are constantly effing your own life and not fixing your own self, you have no one to blame for the state of your life but you. And unfortunately, people have lost sight of the fact that the world landscape is just a grouping, an amalgamation of all of our lives combined, right? Like that's all it is. So if you think that the group landscape is screwed, why not try fixing the landscape one person at a time, starting with yourself? I can tell you right now, I've had much more of an impact on people around me by showing that things are possible by doing them myself than by telling people what they should do. Control the things that you can control. The other part of that is, a lot of times, you are not going to understand. This happens with people who are sure of themselves on things sometimes. You're not going to understand why people don't see things your way and why they just won't succumb to what you think. And the truth is, you're not that guy. You using your mouth to tell other people what they should do, again, instead of just focusing on you, it's not going to produce the results you think. Social media has convinced us that if we talk enough, if we just yell about it enough, people will be shamed into changing. The real world doesn't actually work that way. When you get out here, you start actually changing your life, you start to realize that there's quite a bit about life that is well within your grasp and in your control. Last night, I worked at Domino's, right? Now, a lot about that job I can't control. It was slow earlier in the night during the rush. Can't control that. Didn't make as much money as I wanted to in tips. I have some impact on that, but I can't really control that. But guess what I could control? My attitude, how I treat other people, how much I hustle, which did end up getting me a little bit more money in tips. These things are the things that are in my power. So instead of sitting there and griping, complaining about, oh, this is the worst, why is it so slow? And honestly, we all start there sometimes. It's okay. I got out of my head out of my own butt, okay? And I shook it off, had a good attitude, and I'm doing okay for the night. But again, that requires you to look at the world differently. It requires you to say, you know what? I get that a lot of this world is not something that is immediately fixable, and that's okay. But if I am willing to do my part, then I can lay my head on my pillow and be happy about what I am contributing. A lot of us are not even worried about what we contribute. We're worried more about what the rest of the world is doing than what we're doing. And it's a shame, because as you complain about what the world looks like, you are failing the world in the same way you accuse everyone else of. If you are telling other people that they could be doing it, why aren't you? Why aren't you? How are you expecting the world to be a clean and happy and succinct place when you live your life sloppily? If you live your life sloppy, don't be surprised if the world around you is sloppy. I'm not saying that living your life the best you can is going to change everything around you, but you damn sure going to have a different outlook if you decide, things in my control, I'm going to have this on lock. Everything else, come what may, I'll deal when it gets to me. That's the kind of mindset you got to have when you're trying to achieve goals, when you're trying to change your life. But it's true. A lot of us are not going to be able to change the whole world. And if that's all you're after, I would say, hey, good luck to you. But just don't ignore the power of you doing your part and controlling the controllables. One thing I control right now, going to this gym, getting this work. So that's what I'm going to go do. I'll talk to y'all later.